Now, can Antron Brown, number 2 in the points, keep pace? And he takes on his teammate, Tony Schumacher. As mentioned, the Final Four in Top Fuel today, featuring the top 4 in Top Fuel points. Well, if you joined us earlier today on ESPN2, we talked about gear ratio. Well, Dave Labs checked in on Twitter asking the question, Mike Dunn, how often does the NHRA check those gear ratios in fuel cars?
Not a whole lot. I mean, you basically self-police yourself, because what happens here is if you set a national record, they will go over there and they will check the gear ratio to make sure, among other things, compression, the cubic inches and so forth.
Okay.
Now, what'll happen is if somebody protests, somebody thinks there's something, they'll go over there and then they will spot check pretty much a whole field if they think somebody's off. But that usually won't happen because there's not much of a gray area 320 gear. What really keeps these guys in line is the sponsors like U.S. Army. You get caught with the wrong gear ratio and they're trying to get an advantage, you run the risk of losing your sponsorship, because that's not a mistake that's easily made.
Risk ain't worth the reward.
That's right.
Driving through the staging lanes right now. First, we've got to get through the pits. Gary Densham is supposed to be the first pair up in Funny Car. He is in the car. He's strapped in. He is ready to go. But there was a very slow turnaround. He's hoping to make it up to the line. Antron Brown, who's at the line now, his crew chief, Mark Oswald, told me they're stepping it up this run. They're hoping to run a little quicker than that 386 they ran in the second round.
Dead even off the starting line. Antron Brown, 388. Wow. 312 miles an hour. Antron, his 7th final round of the season. Did have a win here in 2009 over Tony Schumacher. That's when the Ant swept the swing.
Well, we saw both the cars in front of them spin the tires through the middle of the racetrack, but neither driver really had much of a problem through the middle. But Antron was really hooked up. A little bit of surprise to hear Jamie's report that Mark Oswald was going to try to step it up a little bit. He might have, and maybe had a little bit more wheel spin down track, and just didn't have the smoke. Gets the win.
Well, that sets up a great final round matchup. Well, Doug Coletta looks to get his 2nd win of the season, the first one of those coming against Antron Brown way back in Gainesville. It's a classic battle as number 1 in the points, Dougie K races number 2, Antron. Antron with the lane choice.